Hello, my friends. Hi. So, today I want to talk about the queer literature spectrum, or in this case, it's more so gay romance. And also, disclaimer, I have not read every gay romance book in existence, ranging from smutty gay books to like highly esteemed, highly regarded queer literature. I'm just working off of what I got. These are the books that I have read, and honestly, I really enjoyed all of these in their own right. So I have 11 books, kind of series in here too, that I want to kind of expand and like show you from like the extremely saccharine, oh my gosh, how do you say it? To the more so like very intense, very like sad and depressing gay stories. So we're gonna go from here to here. But at the very least, you'll have 11 book recommendations by the end of this. So number one is Heartstopper. So this is like very low barrier to entry, very satisfying gay romance. It is targeted to YA, kind of, if you can tell. There you can see it's a graphic novel and it's really cute and like pastel-y on the outside, and then the inside, don't want to spoil anything for you, but here is, just a taste of what is on the inside. So this story is a series of graphic novels. This is just the first one. There are five currently, and there's going to be a new one coming out this year, and it'll be the final chapter in the tale. It's also a series on Netflix, which I absolutely love. It's just like so wholesome and sweet. Heartstopper centers around Nick and Charlie, who are in high school, and it's just like kind of like that first love and like figuring out what your identity is, and just entirely wholesome and cute. And I wish I had something like this when I was growing up. I definitely feel like there were many times where I was like, I feel different, and I like might have an inkling of like why that is, but Heartstopper really, it touches the soul. It touches your heart, if you will. So I would recommend this. It's like really easy and like I mean like there's not many words. It's like a graphic novel. So if you're new to reading or maybe want to try reading as a hobby, this is like a great place to start. And you can kind of compare it with the series on Netflix, which is also amazing. This is one of those situations where the book series and the TV series are amazing. They're both amazing in their own right. All right. All right. So number two in this spectrum of gay romance, ooh, that was kind of cool, um, is Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. So not the same name as its film adaptation, which is Love, Simon, both which were great. I definitely like the book a little bit better. But this is also maybe just like a step up from Heartstopper, where you are, it's like queer identity, figuring it out in high school. Simon realizes that he's gay and he's like has an undercover lover. There's like a little bit more intensity and like high risks going on throughout this book. And I really appreciated it. Another book that I think I would have loved to have when I was younger. Um, but overall, it's really cute. I, if you don't want to read it, you can watch the movie, but I think they're a wonderful pair, if you will. I don't love Simon as much as I love the Heartstopper boys, but still great. Okay, so next up, number three, is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. And this one I think is very famous, mainly because of the Amazon movie that came out that was, in my humble opinion, better than the book, but the source material is also good. The main characters are awesome. Alex, who's the son of the president, and then also we have Henry, who is like a wonderful, fabulous prince from the UK. So this one's really like international relations, kind of like enemies to lovers trope. If you're into that trope, I kind of am sometimes. It hits a particular itch, or scratches a particular itch, rather. But this one, like the book, Alex character is like a little less endearing and lovable than in the film adaptation. And there's a little bit more of like a spicy vibe. They're like not in high school, they're adults, but it's still like pretty wholesome and cutesy and rom-com vibe. So, if we're moving this way across the spectrum, it's like Heartstopper, Simon versus the Homo Sapiens agenda, and then Red, White, and Royal Blue is like the next. Like it's getting a little bit more intense. Number four, so this one's a new favorite, See You at the Finish Line by Zach Hammett. I like I don't know why I love this. I mean, actually I do know why I love this because it has like forced proximity with like a tinge of enemies to lovers, and it kind of scratches that particular itch of To All the Boys I Loved Before, where there's like a contract or like a deal. And I'm a little bit biased, but the book that I wrote had that same trope. For Unfinished Christmas, if you ever want to read a great book on Kindle that I wrote or on Substack. um so George and Lucas are like, I mean, this animation's great, really describes who they are in this one photo. So cute. But this is really wholesome. It's definitely more saccharine. There is a little bit of steaminess. There's a mention of grinder. And I just, I really liked this. It's definitely like heated rivalry vibes, but a little less like smutty, which is perfect for me. And probably perfect for the people who, like me, sometimes fast forward through the smut um, when it gets a little too um, explicit. But yes, highly, highly recommend this one. But it's probably like very close to Red, White, and Royal Blue, but maybe just a peg up. There's higher stakes. All right, I think it's number five. Listen, I'm not a professional, but I'm working on it here. So this one is The Book of Luke by Lovell Holder, and this is like a recent entry. Like I just finished this. The premise really sold me. I saw an Instagram reel with the author talking about the book, which that really sells me on a book. Like when you can see the joy they had when writing the book and you also want to read the book. Like also main character's gay, which is amazing. Granted, he's a little imperfect, but aren't all like the main characters of any really good story imperfect? Um, he's also married to a gay Republican. I roll. But also, I really liked the element of a reality TV series similar to The Challenge and the kind of like production side of things and the like similar to that show Unreal, where it shows you like kind of like fictionalized behind the scenes of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. This is kind of that, but like challenge vibes and a little bit more gay, which I love. And then it also really talks about like identity and figuring out like what you want in life. And, things aren't just like a checklist and like getting married and having kids. It's really about like, what do you really want at the end of the day for yourself? Also, money's important. A big part of this. Money, money, money. Some scandal. A lot of scandal and maybe death. But I don't want to ruin it. But it's definitely like more towards the middle of saccharine and like gay suffering. So this one's great. And it's a new debut novel, which I love. All right. The sixth and probably the most anticipated entry, Heated Rivalry. Do you feel the steam coming off this book? So this book and this series is a very like wholesome rom-com through line, like very lovable characters who you really are rooting for and just have like you just like want them to win. And yes, hockey is a part of it, but it's really not like the focal point. It's just kind of like the tether of like the storylines. Um, the way that they come about is like hook up to lovers that take it a little bit more serious by the end of the novel. Sorry, spoiler, but I'm sure you've read or seen this by now, I hope. If not, that wasn't too much of a spoiler. But this is venturing away from saccharine and it's more of like sexy and like adult. And while it's not heavy on the gay suffering, which is amazing, it's got a lot of queer joy. So that's probably why it's like a little bit more in the middle of the pack. But this series is fun. And what I've been doing is I read like a more serious book. And then I've been reading installments in the Game Changer series as like palate cleansers. That's what I want to call them. So I recommend this. Like, I personally preferred the series on HBO and Crave. Uh, the actors were phenomenal. Also, they're gorgeous. So there's that. But the books are also great. The source material. Plus, I also think she gets better with every book. Fantastic work, Rachel Reed, if that is your real name. That's a joke because it's not her real name. I've lost count, but I think this is number one, two, three, four, five, six, seven in the list out of 11. So this is Winging It With You by Chip Pons, fellow bookstagrammer turned author. He's doing amazing. I love all of his books. This one in particular is kind of like a fake dating trope. Well, actually, no, it really is a fake dating trope. And this one's quite steamy, and it's centered on this fake amazing race type of reality competition. If you can't tell, I do love like a fictional reality TV show turned novel. So, and I really like Asher. He's like kind of, I feel like I felt some similarities between him and I. So that and Theo is like a major hunk. I mean, these are illustrations, but if you dream them up in your mind, they kind of look like this given the descriptions. Um, and this is very like it's wholesome, but it's like very close to heated rivalry, a little past with the steamy, sexy scenes. So encourage that, but gay joy, less gay suffering, but we're getting there. The next one's disclaimer, it's rough. All right. Number eight is probably my favorite book of all time. Well, maybe for right now. Don't quote me on this whenever you watch this. Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I love this book. Cyrus Shams is like very anti-hero vibes, but you're rooting for him and like the traumatic backstory with his mother, and I don't want to spoil too much, but this is very much like gay suffering, but mostly internal and not like external as well. Um, there's a lot of like cultural challenges with identity, um, weird attachments to sex, and also just like finding your place or your passion and your purpose in the world and kind of being hopeless. Martyr is very like poetic, obviously because Kaveh Akbar is a poet above all. Um, I can't wait for our next book, but this one, like out of all the books, like if you were to read one, this is the one. Like don't skip out on this one. And it's not like that fat. This is just like a large text copy, so it looks fatter than it is. But Martyr is a little bit more of the intense like gay suffering. Actually, every book from this point out is pretty depressing, but gorgeous and a love story in its own right. I absolutely love this book, the ninth entry in this list of 11. Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Jedrowski. I love Ludwig. He's like one of my favorite like gay romance, but also like a tragic gay story character. This is centered in Poland, in 1980s Poland, where, they call them the struggle, or I feel like when I read Irish literature, it's always called like the struggle or the challenge. So like similar, but not, but Poland. And very like class wars and governmental fracturing surrounds this love story. And it starts in a good place. You're like really rooting for them. There's gay yearning, there's love that's blossoming, and then real life kind of fucking hits, and it's sad, it's depressing. But there is like a kind of so good ending for half of the pair, and I don't really want to spoil too much. I like, if you can tell, I don't really love to spoil things. Unless you ask for it, then I'll spoil it. Be my guest, or I'll be your guest. I don't know. But yes, highly recommend. This is probably one of my favorite books that I've read in a really long time. And check it out. This 10th entry is a very, very recent read. Like I read it within the last month. And it is Lie With Me by Philippe Besson. And it's really about like young teenage clandestine romance that produces gay yearning and really flashes back and forth from present and past, and really this hinges on the author's perspective. And from his perspective, like things were great and loving, and then they kind of take a sour turn. And he always has this like one that got away mentality, and this is devastating, and it ends in a quite devastating way. There are glimmers of hope in the present, but the present is dreary, in my humble opinion. But this is like almost all the way this way on like from saccharine gay literature to kind of devastating. And last but not least, Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This book is just obliteratingly, is that even a word? It obliterates you with its sadness and its gay yearning. And what happens to Giovanni is just a tragedy. And this book is fantastically written. It is a gay romance that is also set in a time where it's not okay. Arguably, you know, we've come a long way, but it's still tough in a lot of parts of the world, including the US in some parts. You know, tangent aside, Giovanni's Room is fantastic, but it's probably the most devastatingly, impeccably written gay romance I've ever read. So there's number 11. At the very least, you got 11 gay romance wrecks, ranging from sweet to kind of sour and brokenhearted and tragic. If you've made it this far, I'm really glad that you stuck around and watched this whole movie. I'm like, wow, you're amazing. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. What do people say? Comment. Yeah, let me know if you read one of these books or if you like want more info. I know I gave like a little, just like a tiny nugget of each, but if you want more, reach out. I'm happy to provide some more insight. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.